I only have one game to talk about, so this video might be shorter than 20 minutes for once, so there's a win for everybody. What is up, everybody? Welcome back to Recaps for Chirpin DMV. My name is Ben, your host for all things Washington Capitals hockey. What is going on? This is week 16, but it's weird because I only had one game this week, so it's the Flyers game. It's the Flyers game. That's what we'll call it. Yeah, sort of a weird week. I'm used to doing 4 or 5 games a week. The video being 1,000 minutes long. People not watching, but now we got one game. I can get through this quick, I promise. So let's just get into it now. For this one, we got Samsonov in net. Makes sense. Vitek still out. Obviously, the regulars are out. You're still without Oshie. Mantha is... I don't think he ever played for the Capitals. I think that was a fever dream I had. Justin Schultz still out after he got banged up, so we got Michael Kempny back in this one. And good thing we did, because end of the period, about a minute and a half left in the first. Michael Kempny's the one who scores first. He's running out of time on the point, so he just shoots the puck, which... again, said this plenty of times, that's a coach's dream. Then Michael Kempny, again, being involved in this game, he gets hit not the cleanest. It wasn't a super dirty hit or anything. It was just a questionable hit, and TVR steps up and fights for him. I love this. Obviously, the Caps got an instigator penalty for it, but it just shows it wasn't Wilson. It wasn't any of the big guys. It was TVR stepping up for his teammate. So it just shows that anyone will do that if anyone gets hit on the team. So that's a good message to send to the opponent, especially a team like Philly that's notoriously tough, even though they don't really do much good this year. Philly scores on the ensuing power play. It was tough. There was a guy wide open. Their diamond, the Capitals diamond on the PK, was a little condensed, a little too small, so they missed that assignment, so Philly ties it up. Then the Capitals get a power play of their own, and it's Joe goddamn Snively. Joey Snipes just puts multiple pucks on net. He shoots one, finds a rebound on that second power play unit. He finds the back of the net. He's got 4 goals in his last 5 games. I don't know if you've heard me say it, but I like this guy a lot, and he's been their most offensive player in the month of February. And he just started playing games with the team, so that's impressive to say the least. He's doing what I wanted McMichael to do, and the people who have been complaining about McMichael's ice time, he's not looking bad, but he's not doing what Joe Snively's doing. I want Joe Snively getting more ice time than McMichael at any game. I want him on those power play units more than McMichael right now. So I know Snively's 26 and he's played probably more pro hockey. I don't actually know that for sure, but I'm assuming he's played more pro hockey than Connor McMichael. But still, I think Joe Snively deserves more hype than anybody right now on the team. But then the final minute of the second period, the Flyers come down on a 2-on-1, and obviously they score because it's a 2-on-1, and Capitals generally don't break up odd man rushes, but this one was it was tough. I think it was Giroux was carrying the puck. He slowed up at the blue line. Carlson stepped up to make sure he stopped up, and then Backstrom didn't really continue his back check. He sort of slowed up thinking that Giroux wasn't getting over the line. He had a guy coming with him. He made the pass. Backstrom was out of position and couldn't get there. They make the play. It's a tied game. Then there's no scoring in the third until the final 4-ish minutes, and it's Backstrom again. Unfortunately, Travis Sanheim comes down the wing. Backstrom's covering him, but he doesn't really put any pressure on him at all. Sanheim's able to walk right around him, finds a guy wide open, and whoever was in front, I think it was TVR who I was just complimenting, he put no pressure on the guy in front, and it was 2 players being too soft on their assignments, which is obviously, it's going to, especially in front of the net, it's going to end up in the back of your net every time. You can be a little softer on the guy on the perimeter, but when Sanheim's coming in with speed like that, Backstrom's got to get more than just a poke check in there. He's got to put his body, he's got to be following him with a little bit more speed. I know Backstrom's not a speed player per se by any stretch of the imagination, but still. So yeah, Backstrom didn't have his best game in this one for sure, and that pains me to say because I'm the most biased Capitals fan of all time. I love my guys, and Backstrom is big time one of my guys, but he didn't have his best game out there. And it looks like we're in for another Capitals collapse against a team worse than them, which has happened before. It's not an uncommon thing, but this team showed resiliency, which is a good sign after this rough stretch of hockey. So fourth line gets out there next, and I wasn't on Twitter at the time, but I can imagine Caps Twitter was going nuts. It was probably fire Laviolette at that point for putting the fourth line out there, but they just get in the zone and muck it up. And that's when you're down late in the game. I know you want the stars out there like Ovechkin and Kuzi because they score more than anybody on the team. That's why they're the stars. But these guys get the puck in the opponent's zone and keep it there. They don't get hemmed in their zone very often. That's vital when you're trying to score late in the game. Pucks can go in off anything, and this is proof of it. Puck goes back to John Carlson. He just throws it on net right off the Garnyard dog, Garnet Hathaway. Game is tied late on the next shift too, so what a response by the boys. And I know it was a deflection goal, but John Carlson, 5 straight games with an assist. I thought he sucked. I don't know. And then it's the fourth line again, you know, like I was just saying, this team, they seem to crumble under pressure sometimes. That was always their problem before they won the cup, was pressure. If pressure was there, they were not making diamonds, they were just collapsing under the pressure. Carl Hagelin with an unreal breakup of a bad Ivan Provorov pass, I'll say that. But Hagelin breaks it up, finds the Garnyard dog in front, puts it in the back of the net, and just like that, within like a minute, the Capitals have the lead again. And then it's John Carlson again from his own end, just whip the puck off the glass. That's fine, I'm fine with that, but it just takes a funny bounce, goes in the McNugget minute. Thanks, John. Capitals win this one 5-3, and the comeback's nice because, like, obviously if your team's down, you want them to come back. Should they have been in that position against the Flyers? No, not necessarily, but you know, that's what like some defensive breakdowns can do. That's just like the blanket term for that is just you got to tighten up defensively, and that was exactly what this game was an example of. Backstrom didn't have his best defensive game, just got to tighten it up. Regardless, Capitals get the win. They fight their way back in this one. They've now won 2 in a row, which is not a streak necessarily, but it's good considering where they've been at lately. They're 5-5-0, so they're kind of climbing back. They're 500 now in their last 10. That empty net goal from Carlson also tied Pittsburgh for the most in the NHL. Capitals have 14 this year. I didn't even realize that. That's a lot. Ovi has like 9 of them just from his own end. John Carlson too. I'm just always, anytime I get a chance to talk about him, I will. He another 10-goal season. I think I forget the stat that I saw. So this is it's good of me to bring up a stat that I don't remember, but I'm pretty sure he has like 7 10-goal seasons with Washington, which 10 goals is nothing like extraordinary, but when you're a D-man, like a 15-goal season's unreal. So the fact that he has like 7 10-goal seasons is extremely good. Like I just said, we'll never miss the chance to talk about this guy and how good he actually is as a hockey player. But someone else worth mentioning, like I said, Joey Snipes, 4 goals in his last 5 games. Most amount of goals by any Capital since the start of February when they've been playing tough. He's been the bright spot. So I don't know, like he's come out of absolutely nowhere, and he's forcing himself onto the team. Like when everyone's healthy, I expect Joe Snively in the lineup. I just do. Like when Mantha and Oshie back, he might get pushed down to the third line, but he better be on that third line with the way he's playing. Unless he totally drops off, but the way he's playing right now, he better be there when they're all back. And I don't care if that bumps McMichael out. I want Joe Snively in over him right now. But anyways, that's it for the Flyers game, obviously. So I should be done the video, but since I have so much extra time, I would be remiss if we didn't talk about the New York Rangers game tonight. So obviously, the Philly game, it's fun to talk about a win, don't get me wrong. But there's a lot of hype around the game just based on, you know, points. The Rangers are 3rd in the Metro. The Capitals are the first wild card. They're the closest team to them. They're hoping to climb the rankings a little bit, so a win tonight would really help them there. But the real story here is it's like, I don't even know how to describe it. It's like a Mike Tyson fight. It's MSG and Tom Wilson and Ryan Reaves are playing. I don't know if you guys are history buffs and remember, but last year there was a certain incident. They called it the Tom Wilson incident, which will never not be funny because it was a glorified scrum. And afterwards, there was all this hype. The Rangers fired people. They were writing statements to the league, insulting workers of the Department of Player Safety, specifically the head, George Peros, which is frowned upon in the league's eyes, which should make sense. It's an employee of theirs. Then the next time they played, there was a line brawl right off the start. It was the most hyped up game of the year, and it lived up to expectations. Right off the bat, there's line brawl. Brendan Smith had the misfortune of having to fight Tom Wilson, and then there was a couple other fights. Oshie got a hat trick right after his dad passed away. It was an insane game. It was the end of the season. The Rangers didn't make playoffs. They went out and they got some grit, you know, as Jim Rutherford might say, a solution to our Tom Wilson problem. So they got their Jared Tenorti, who they waived. They got Sammy Blais, who's injured for the rest of the season. They got Barclay Goodrow for 6 years. But then they got Ryan Reaves. And Ryan Reaves and Wilson, as everyone knows, they have a beef. They have a history. These two don't like each other. They played each other in the Cup Finals. Revo knocked Wilson out that one time with a hit and was signing pictures saying "Lion in the Jungle" and all this. And then they met in Game 1 of the season this year, and Revo was a ghost. He did nothing. He asked Ovi how his summer was. Well, his team got lit up 5-1, and Tom Wilson scored the empty netter. Now, obviously, I don't watch a lot of Rangers games. There have been people calling them a wagon this year. They have their goalie could win the Hart Trophy. So I don't know if Revo is contributing to their success, because ever since they got him and these other guys, they're a better team objectively in the standings, point percentage, and everything. They're a better team. Does Revo have anything to do with that? I don't know, probably not. But yeah, he didn't fight in the first game, and at some point, I don't care how well the team's doing now, you have to think that bothered fans. It's like, we brought this guy in to do this, and he didn't at all. Like I said, he just asked Ovi how his summer was and everything, and was buddy. So I'd like to think that bothered some people, and not only definitely fans. I don't want to say the organization, but I don't know. They lie about how they feel a lot and the reasons behind things they do. But I don't know. Madison Square Garden, they got beat up 5-1 last game. I think there's going to be a response, and I'm just confident there will be. I think Revo and Tom Wilson are going to go, and just if Tom Wilson like knocks out Revo, scores a goal, Caps win the game, I don't know what I'll do, but what would I do? I'd be a really happy guy, and that's all there is to it. Just because of all this talk, like, oh, Tom Wilson wouldn't fight Revo. They fought like 2 or 3 times, but I've heard that before. And it's just like Tom Wilson he doesn't need to fight Revo. Revo needs to fight Tom Wilson. Tom Wilson doesn't need to fight Revo, because Tom Wilson wasn't brought into Washington to fight Revo. Revo happening to go to New York right after that went down against Tom Wilson. I don't know. It just seems a little coincidental to me. But anyways, it's going to be a battle. I'm predicting a fight. It's just gladiator. It's the Coliseum. But anyways, that's it for this one. Thank you so much as usual for watching. Stay tuned for the next one. And I don't know. It's fight night. It's what it is. It's going to be fight night. So Revo's a fraud. There, I said it. Thanks for watching. Peace out.